Hello, everyone, and welcome to Saturday Streaming. Hopefully, you all had a good week and a good weekend so far. So let's get started as usual with some of the updates. This week. I've been working mostly on just trying to button up some of the areas around town, kind of around this lake area here. Also working on reducing, as we looked at last week, some of the texture stats. I brought it down even further. So there's still a little bit of ways that I can go, but this is already much better than what it was. Imran, hello, welcome. Hello, sir. And so yeah, as you can see, there's like a couple of like not sure, like outcrops or like these areas that extend out, along the lake, just to add a little bit more detail. So we'll zoom in in some of these. And also another thing that I worked on is kind of trying to create you know, not to create, but to add another parameter to my water body material, which is this one for like, kind of just open lakes and stuff, and to make it so that it looks like it's flowing. So just for the water, so it's flowing kind of along with the with the stuff on the edge a little bit. So, kind of this contact dirt that happens alongside. So trying to get that in a little bit. Also was playing right before the stream to try to adjust a little bit of the UV unwrapping on the dam here. I'm still not very happy with how it is, but it's still just a very kind of early look at it. Yeah, so let's see. The other thing, so this part here, and I've also been working on this area here where the laundromat is, just trying to get these kind of parking lots connected, on this side, and kind of managed to work out a way to address these buildings that are on like an off level type of thing, like where the slope starts to happen. So I've created like a little bit of this is going to be like a ramp here, and this kind of elevated platform, you would say. I'm not sure what to call it. Um, and with that, just added like a little bit of a parking area here just to kind of break up the straightness, I would say, of the sidewalk, so that I could add that over here as well. It was what I was thinking, because I like how this area turned out. And let me turn off some of the interior stuff. All right, so like I was saying, worked a little bit on this area here. Finally got to adding some walls to the laundromat, and just so that once you go inside, you've probably seen the interior before. That's going to be like a back office that you can enter. Um, and I've actually tested it yesterday just to make sure that the collisions work. So we'll do a quick walk around there. So added some ground for like the parking lots behind some of these buildings. This little area here again, since the the uh, the laundromat is a little bit elevated, just kind of created these retaining walls, a little bit of a trash gathering area, so to speak. Uh, just a tiny parking lot here in front of the building. Let's see what else. Finally managed to sculpt some of the terrain around the gas station and added this the kind of the concrete parking lot. I'll be doing some of these back alleys back here that kind of just round out the edge of the town. So yeah, back in this kind of campgrounds area, I've managed to do a couple of ramps going up and down. So one that kind of climbs up through here and gets behind these buildings, and the other one that goes down through here a little bit wider into this. dirt road that takes you to the campgrounds. All right, let's see what else. Then kind of just a little beach area here at the campgrounds. Again, making use of some of that IA scatter tool just for placing things. And yeah, along with the decals, I've shown you guys this earlier, like in a previous stream. So yeah, I mean, it's coming together. Again, as always, I wish I get more time with this, but uh, I'll take what I get. Oh, hey Sham, hey, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? Glad to have you. Yeah, so as I was saying last week, what I was hoping to do in this stream is, kind of try and get this little, like a river kind of. I'm not sure if you call it a river when it's. I mean, I guess it's kind of a river, kind of dumping from the dam. Uh, so you do this landscape based on a plan, or it's how you like. Um, and well, yeah, I mean, a lot of it kind of started off with um, it's kind of like a combination, right? So I started off with the landscape that came with the Nordic conifer biome for this area here, like the playable area, so this area here. And I'm gonna, I'm gonna say that I started off with, and then it just ended up not being that anymore. But and then kind of the outskirts of it was from this the Deadlands or some kind of package that I had, again, like a free thing from the Epic marketplace. And then I just went about kind of sculpting it as I liked it, literally. I knew what I wanted to have as far as like the areas. Like I had those areas in mind, like the kind of the residential, the small residential area, then like the downtown area, these out, um, kind of like a little village here and towards the exit of town. The kind of like the antennas is because I had that in the plan, and then I still didn't get to this part here. The mobile home area, and then isolated back here, which is on a hidden data layer, the the mine exploitation with the 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 factory, and then the dam, which kind of went through a couple of iterations, right? I started with the idea of having that as a bunker, but then just didn't really make sense. And there's like so many other games that are using bunkers, like every little, almost every game out there. And I wanted to have something that would kind of fit the area a little bit more, kind of, producing power, right? There's like a reservoir behind it, and there's like the mountains. So that's how it dumps into here. Very honest question. Hope you don't mind. No, 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 not at all. Ask away. So yeah, hopefully, at least Imran, as far as the landscape sculpting goes, that's kind of how, and definitely a lot of it is also how I like it. In the end, yes, I want to make something that I like, and my hopes is that others will like it as well. So yeah, while you type the questions, I'm just gonna start and resume kind of the work on this and try and add some kind of variety to this like little section of river here. And of course, I'm totally aware that from like a maybe like an urbanistic, um, what do you call it, planning might not be the best, but it's just, how I look at it. Um, don't you think you spend so much time on landscaping and sculpting if you had sketched and blocked out, it would have been much quicker? Oh, it definitely would. It definitely would have. Um, and I am totally aware that I kind of went into this, kind of blind in one eye. Maybe, I'm not sure if that's a way to explain it, but um, my plan was definitely like a 10,000 feet type of plan, and now that I'm getting into like the ground work, it definitely takes longer, right? And that probably just comes with the lack of experience, that I had as I went into this. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do something that I that I want to do, and I didn't really look into, well, how do people that have done this, how do they do it? So, yeah, I definitely spend a lot of time on this. Though on the other hand, I also really enjoy it. So, yeah, hopefully, Imran, hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, and I'm totally with you on that. I've always wished, now that I'm doing all of this work, I've I've really wanted to, in all honesty, to have it planned a little bit better. But I guess at this point is kind of here we are, and I'm just gonna make the best of it, so to speak. But yeah, definitely, I would have definitely liked to have it planned out a little bit better, especially when it comes to these kind of time-consuming details. It's it would have been so much better to just kind of have it a little bit better planned. But yeah, it was a lot of it was also kind of, I started off with an idea, um, and then I kind of got I found things that were better, from like the landscape designing perspective, and I got sidetracked. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I got sidetracked by that, and I ended up, changing to this other idea, and that ended up in like, um, it did end up in, wasting time. So unfortunately, that's what happened. Hey, Marks, welcome, welcome. Hello. But appreciate the love. Thank you so much. Um, thanks so much for the kind words. I do hope um, it's gonna turn out good. It's is what I'm hoping for, and that's why I'm putting so much work into it. And in the end, it's definitely, even if it doesn't turn into anything, this is literally like a hobby that I really enjoy. So I'm at a point where, I think I mentioned this before, where I don't really play video games anymore, and uh, I enjoy doing this more, literally. Oh, thank you, Marks. How long have you been working on this game? So overall, I've kind of started the home game development thing in 2013, so about 10, 11 years ago. And at the time, I had no idea. I just like, I kind of like the idea of making a video game, so let's try. And so I had the idea of what I wanted to make in a video game. Again, just a very, very rough idea at the time. And I um, I started looking into game engines, went with CryEngine at the time, spent about 5 years in CryEngine, and then around 2018, I moved over to Unreal and, kind of started from zero. But learning color and all that, I would say um, that yeah, it's been 6 years or so, 5, 6 years of doing it. Doing it at a part-time level because I do have a full-time job that is not related to game development. So yeah, it's a slow going process, and I am totally aware of that. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's oh my God, 10,000 plus hours. Yeah, that's one thing, that I was never able to get into is multiplayer games. And that's why, like all the games that I play are single player story-based games. And yeah, so I've never been able to uh, like when I was younger and Counter-Strike was, just coming out and it was like popular all over the place. I did play quite a bit. There were like the internet cafes at the time. Damn, I'm old. But I was never able to get into playing them for, extended periods of times. Like I have friends that play some of those multiplayer video games, and I can't. I don't think I can do it for that long. Yeah. Hey, Miniro. So it's an action adventure first person video game. It is single player. Um, it's story based, storyline based. Because yeah, these are kind of like the games I play. So you'll probably see a lot of like in the world design, you probably see a lot of similarities to like Far Cry 5, and that's one of the games um, that very much enjoyed. So thank you so much for asking. Yeah, so since I've seen some new people joining, if you guys want to see how like kind of how the game starts and like that would be actually a good test for me as well because I haven't like run it from the beginning in a little bit. So if anybody's interested, I can like kind of start the game, show you like um the the plane flight sequence and like the because Mini Row and Marks the way the game starts is similar to other games as well. Like the entry into the world is through a plane crash, and where you can like the plane is going to start malfunctioning, right? And it's like on a crash course, so to speak. And you get the option to jump in three different locations, and I can at least show you one of them, though. Um, Actually, it'd be a good test for me too, so let's do it. And at least that way I can hopefully, jot down some of the issues and fix them for tomorrow's stream. I think that would be a good thing for me too. So let's take a look. So one of the crash points is going to be around here, around this campgrounds area, and it's let me see. Let's take a look at when we load out of this to make sure that we're in like gameplay mode and like the full game mode. And let's see, is dev? No. Thank you, Marks. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, and in the end, a lot of if this stream serves as an inspiration for people, one goal has been achieved for me. That's always good to know. Um, so what's the size of the current project and what will it be? So yeah, it's not that big. I mean, it's kind of like I would say if you play Far Cry 5, it's like smaller than one of the regions that some of those people control as far as the area, the playable area. And yeah. So yeah, let me know if you have any other questions, Minirel. All right, so let's give this a shot, see how bad it's gonna end up. Like I said, I haven't jumped into it in a while, so it might not run as I hope it will. All right, so kind of main menu. All right, so this is how um, it's the plane the flying is pretty bad, and that's a good thing to test there because I wasn't able to jump. But oh, so mini row, I mean like by storage. So yeah, the project itself, I think, with everything in it, and there's a lot of it that I don't use. It's the project, not built. It's about 60 gigs, and when it's built is about 25 gigs, I think. So that's with almost everything in it. But I haven't built it in a while, and I've made some changes to the texture, so they might be a lot lower. All right, but JSO Flick, let me see. This is a good thing to test. I can't remember why this one wasn't. So I'll jot this down, but I can show you, what happens once you jump out of the airplane. So instead of like starting it in dev mode, I showed you a little bit of, literally very little bit of how the plane flight is. That's kind of how you are in the airplane. You don't have a control over it, so it just follows the path, and you can choose to jump at one of these locations. But I can show you what happens, once you jump. Maybe do some small interactions with some of the like with one of the NPCs. We'll just grab one of these guys from here. So at least I can show you um, how they how you interact with some of these guys and maybe a little bit of combat. I think there might be a couple of enemies around here. Let me see if I do. So at least you get an idea of some of the combat as well. Let me see where there might be some or a couple of them maybe. None of them are here. Let me place a couple of enemy NPCs down here, and so at least I can show you like interactions with the NPCs and like dealing with some of the enemies, just to give you a small idea about that part as well, and how like the weapons are working. Like a couple of the weapons, maybe um, like a rifle and a bow. Let me see. So I got some questions. Why do they give software engineers lots of money? Yeah, that is important, unfortunately. I know that at least in the beginning, it's important to, and I think it's also as a thinking method, with math. I using TSR or TA as anti-aliasing. So Hisham, let me show you real quick. I think it might be TSR. Can't remember. Yeah, so it's TSR. And Marks, one question: how did you make the road RD decals? So I can show you. Let me jump into game real quick, and I can show you what I did for the roads as well. You can add a firing range map. Yeah, that's a good idea. I've seen that in many other games in Run. So yeah, that's a good suggestion. Thank you. And I actually think I have one of those. Oh, TAA. Huh. That's a good. You know what? Let me look into that, Hisham. Thank you. I know I've tried it, but I couldn't recall if it was didn't look as good or um so I'll give that a shot. All right, let's jump into game, guys, and let me see where the um where my, actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this out of here, and I'll move it into town. So we'll also enter a couple of buildings, and I'll show you some of the interiors as well. And then we'll put some of the bad guys out here. Hopefully we're in a place that they're not going to be able to see us. All right, let's give this a shot. And this way I can also show you how the kind of the UI works in terms of getting missions and all right, so we got the enemies right there. I think some of the stuff is over here for me to pick up. And oh, I think I might have not put an interactable bow, so my bad. But as far as this is kind of how the missions are conveyed to the player. When it comes to this is kind of one method as just kind of close some of my windows here. And you can switch either between this or a HUD. So that way, when you press Q, you can either have this. So basically you got, your hands are free. And oops, I think I might have, there's a little bit of an issue with the procedural foliage volume that I still didn't fix just yet, where when it overlaps with the gun, it thinks it hits a wall and it tries to just pull it back. So let me just bring these up a little bit here. Hopefully that's good. All right, so let's jump back in. So as I was saying, there's two options, where you can either have it with, with this, static, not static, but just a regular UI, or if you so choose to, you can go with like the actual device that you can like hold up, and it's like a physical thing. They both provide the same instruction, like the same info, but this one, I think, feels a little bit more realistic, I would say, in a way. And on it, you get the missions along with your basic inventory there at the top, compass, with the directions to your target, the little health meter there. But yeah, it does. In order for you to equip the weapon, it does take up the space. So that's one of the downsides to using that method. So let's kind of, as far as interactions go, and this is where I was saying, like it thinks it hits something, so that's why kind of the weapon is kind of pulled down a little bit. So this doesn't really have like the best collisions, this interior, so I need to fix some of that stuff. But yeah, let's go outside and deal with a couple of these bad guys. So they have a pretty standard kind of detection, that you would see in other video games if you get into their field of view. Like right there, they just like whoops. What am I hitting something else? Yeah, so now he sees you. And like your standard headshot and whatever is in place. But yeah, like there's this little arrow. Many other games have it in a similar fashion. and I just need to fix this little thing where it's the it disappears once the enemy is dead. So yeah, that's very basic as far as combat. Let's take a look at some of the interactions and how those look with the Megascan actors, if I can have one. Um, yeah, Hisham, a lot of the exteriors, especially for some of these buildings, are heavily unfinished, and yeah, a lot of the interiors, I um, I have them from like professional people that make this stuff as their job. So that's probably part of it as well. Um, is camera attached to the chest? Imran, no, the camera is attached to the head. And did it feel too grounded? Oh, that's an interesting point. I'll definitely take a look at that, see how that looks on my end. All right, so let me show you a little bit of the interactions. Let me see. Oh, the height of the player. Yeah, I kind of get that. Let's see how it looks once you interact with one of the NPCs. So let's jump into game mode real quick here. All right. Let me go and find this guy. So this is kind of how the interaction with some of these guys look with so for Marks, Mini-Row, JS, and so for example, not necessarily connected um, to the discussion, but that's kind of him handing over an item if need be, and he's stuck in that state, so I need to fix that. In this case, he handed me a bow, but yeah, I think you're right, Imran. Let's take a look at like if I was to pick up the rifle. So let me go into full screen mode. So are you talking about the rifle like when it's held up like this? So kind of this is how it looks in third person. And Hisham, the player doesn't have a face, but it does have a head. If you're thinking of like there's a shadow for the head right there. No, the field of view doesn't change, but oh, I think I see what he's saying. So check this out. So when you hold a gun, it is kind of slouched over a little bit, and whether, when you don't hold a gun, it's kind of like this, right? So it stands up, and then when you hold a gun, it goes into like a little bit of a like a active stance, so to speak. Yeah. So it is a little bit, it sits a little bit lower, I would think, like because it brings down the um, like yeah, exactly, like kind of like a semi-crouch. Because if you look at these guys, once they see me and they get into like an attack mode, so and then they shoot at me, they're like that's kind of how they look. Hey, Supun. Hey, welcome, welcome. So that's yeah. And yeah, once you equip it, it stands up a little taller. Um, and yeah, definitely Imran, sorry, Hisham, for the face, I definitely see your point. Um, I'm probably not gonna have any cutscenes focusing around like the player itself and their face. Um, because at that point, maybe folks would want to be able to, kind of, what was I gonna say? Like be able to customize the player and so forth. So, I'm just gonna, for that part, is gonna be a little bit basic. Oh, too harsh. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna make note of that. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I kind of felt it that way as well, and it did feel to me too. So thank you for letting me know, Imran. That's again, that's one of the reasons that I stream, right? It's just getting thoughts from people as well, and just kind of writing them down as we, you know, as I show stuff. Okay, so for Marks and other new people, JSO. Hopefully that gives you just a little bit of an idea of things. So yeah, so we'll get back to our area here that we were going to work on. Yeah, definitely, Imran. I'm with you on that. It's just a little tough and a little bit too much to animate for one person. Even though I can like, procedurally generate some of the facial stuff. Yeah, and I think I've played other games where um it might not be um yeah, I totally I get that as well. But I've played like a mixture, because the one game that comes to mind, and I can't recall if this was the case, in Far Cry 5, if there was any cutscenes that they were showing the player's face. I can't recall, but I do remember playing some games where, just like there weren't too much focus on the player's face, like, bigger games. I wish I'd have the the time to do something like that because that'd be really cool. Um, you know, I totally feel you. All right, so yeah, guys, let me know if you have any other questions. I can try and answer some of them. Uh-huh. Oh, 3 and 4. So exactly the two games that I haven't played. Like I've only played like 5 and 6. And yeah, in 6 I do remember that they have that. Because you can but you can only choose between, two characters and there's not a lot of customization as far as I could tell. I mean, I didn't spend too much time, so I might be wrong, but all right, so let's see how we can do some of the stuff around around. the shoreline here. And I might just rely on some of the, as usual, some of the this IA scatter tool that I've had. I think I've used this tool more than a ton of other things. The only thing that I can't figure out why is that it kind of spawns things the on this water surface, and I was thinking that I don't have collisions enabled, so that's kind of interesting. But I think I might end up using this as a spline instead of this. So this way, what I can do, I can just use it across there. Do you know about Hellblade 2? Is that the Senua game? Yeah, that thing has like some crazy cinematics. I've seen some of it and it's just like, wow, that looks so good. Yeah, that is some crazy good looking stuff there. I haven't played it, like I haven't played the first one because it wasn't like really my style of game. And like I mostly play these kind of realistic type of video games. Though, you know, I'm not gonna say that because I also play like Dishonored, you know, or Wolfenstein. So it's it's kind of a mixed bag, I guess. But but no, I haven't played any of the first Hellblade either. And I don't remember, was that for PC as well, or was it just for PlayStation? I was kind of thinking it came out as a kind of a um, you know, as an exclusive for PlayStation. Oh, so it's 4090. Oh my God. Yeah, 4090 is just crazy. I'm kind of assuming that my 1070 might not be able to run that very well. Yeah. Marks, what advice would you give to optimize the game? Stream looks big, and I would like to know how you optimized it. Well, so mine is not very well optimized, to be honest. There's still some things to be done to it as well. But you know, I would say the main thing is, you know, kind of use instancing as much as you can. That's one of them. The other thing that I've recommended to people is to, you know, like you see this arrow up here, to kind of go into your, like this is one thing, and let me see, where is it? As on the tool audit and statistics, this will also give you a good idea on things that you might need to check. And you know, I would start with the texture stats and try to bring this down as low as you can. Um, let's see, primitive stats, that's also a good thing to look at. I haven't looked into it too much, but you know, try to bring these statistics down as best as you can. Um, so for example, I use a lot of tools like this one, for example, that spawns a bunch of instances um, of a specific mesh. In this case, is just like a Megascan kind of granitic rock surface. Um, the other thing that I would recommend is, and that I've been using, is packed level actors. So for example, wherever you have like a lot of the same repeating asset, and this goes back to instancing, right? So in this example here, And this might not be the best one because I haven't done it very well. But for example, this is a pack level actor. And the way this works is I've selected a bunch of the same assets, and you can right click on them and create a pack level actor from them. So what that does is if you were to open this, you'll see that there's a bunch of like either instance static mesh or a hierarchical instance static mesh depending on that one item. And what you'll see is, let me see if I can find one. You'll see that this one has two instances, right? And if you were to leave them just as they were, that would be like two draw calls. And converting them into a pack level actor, and mind you, this is not the best example because I have not done it. This was like in the beginning when I was starting with this, so I need to revisit it. But there's stuff, like other ones that have like, three elements. These ones, for example, are just one, so they're not very well done. Like I said, I need to go back and fix some of these. But this is a good one. There's eight elements of this, and there's only one draw call. So that would bring your draw calls down a lot. The other one, like another example, is something that I've implemented myself when it comes to billboards exactly as well. So, thank you. Another example is something that I've tried doing. So let me jump into game mode real quick, and I'll show you. I've worked on creating this one setting as because I use Lumen for my lighting. So what I've done is I've let's actually go to an interior. That would be a perfect example. And I'm actually gonna go. Let me let me jump out of this, and I'll go to the sewers because that would be a better example for like lighting. And let me see, where's the start here. So yeah, Lumen does take a lot, but what I've tried to do is I've tried to disable Lumen in exterior areas. So in my settings, in order to like, get a little bit better frame rate, is I've placed this option where you can disable Lumen for exteriors. So like right now, Lumen is enabled everywhere. Considering I have some tabs open and such, so it's around 40 frames per second. So let's see what happens if I go into settings and let's see video. So I've made my GI options to be like all areas, basically Lumen enabled everywhere. Only interiors, so like everything outside it doesn't disable Lumen completely. Like it disables only the exterior post-process volume, like the main world. So now let's see if I can disable this and see like the frame rate went up by 3-4 frame rate or something like that. I'm assuming maybe once it's built it might run a little bit better. And yeah, when you're outside, Lumen doesn't add a whole lot. But now if I go into like an interior, and yeah, see my frame rate drop quite a bit just because of the number of draw calls. There's some unoptimized stuff back there. But if I go into like an interior, this one has Lumen enabled, right? So what I've noticed is that helps with performance quite a bit. So if I was to exit from this, I'm just going to exit out into the area where there's no lumen, right? So again, it's like 42, 41, 43. So let's go into and I'm gonna set my to be like all areas. So as you can see, it went down by 2-3 frame rates. Yeah, and but hopefully, as Imran is saying, and as some of the folks from Epic were saying, that the performance in 5.4 is much better than in 5.3 for Lumen. So I got one more plugin that I need to update to be able to move to 5.4. So hopefully that would be um, I would see some kind of increase is what I'm hoping. All right. Well, so those were a couple of like big things that I wanted to you know Mike to show you, Marks. So hopefully that helps a little bit. And yeah, try to keep your shader complexity low. Like for example, right now mine is not the best, but as you can see, like the terrain is kind of greenish in most areas. You don't want to have like this. I know this one is the water, so it's going to be a little bit more pinkish. Once you get into like a lot of this is going to get bad. Like the performance is going to get pretty bad. So yeah, you want your things to be like this greenish or like this dark green at most. And I totally get it. If some are not possible, you want to paint more than one layer on your terrain, so you're gonna end up with worse performance. Like this one's gonna turn reddish. If you have like fog cards like I have here, that's gonna add a little bit more. So be mindful of those things. Oh, Hisham, switching to 5.4 7 plus. That'd be awesome. Like I'd be happy. Like 7 plus would bring me to 50 plus, which is kind of my target on a 1070. If I can get like 50 plus on a 1070, I'd be happy. Like people using like more modern GPUs would get like 70, 80 frames easy. So yeah. Hisham, lowering the texture resolution. I don't think that does anything to the shader complexity, to be honest. It's literally like how many nodes you have and how much things. There's definitely a lot of like the blur stuff would add a ton of extra instructions. You know, pixel. Like I have a little of a pixel depth offset to kind of blend between assets a little bit better. So yeah. Oh, Supun, and that's totally true. Um, you know, um, and that's what I've been doing as well. And Marks, a good thing to do is in your content browser. Let's take a look at a couple of something I was looking at last week, and I'm constantly doing that. And so if you look at some of the textures, um, like stuff that are just for like a small item or something like that, what I would do is if you have multiple of these, like for example these three, if you were to edit their properties, you can select all of them. And in here, if you look for maximum texture resolution, like you see, I have multiple values. So the 2K, let's actually select one at a time. So 2K is at 2048 normal. It's going to be a 1024 because I don't need that extra, like the 2048 for the normal. And then the roughness at 512. So this is another way to kind of optimize some of these things. Um, Yeah, so that's Hisham, that was one of the things that I'm still trying to find out what why that happens. I mean, part of it is, as you can see, like when I'm looking this way, it's like um and when I'm looking this way, it goes away. So I know it's probably something that's kind of what's loaded in the thing, and it's probably, yeah, like you were saying, related to VRAM, but I haven't yet figured out a way to make that completely go away, like at all times. Like for example, when I load into the engine, it that thing is not there. It just starts showing up after like, maybe 15, 20 minutes of using it, and then it sticks there. So uh, it's probably part of, the streaming setup, part of my pool size setup, and but I wish I could tell you like a very concrete answer on that. Oh, thank you, Imran. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I'm just not uh, 100% sure. Yeah. Super, I have created some 2K texture trees using Blender and Painter with only 10,000 polygons. Yeah, that's true. That's very good to have. That's awesome. And a lot of it depends on, like if you have a tree that's got like, five different materials on it, which, unless it's like a hero tree is not needed. But yeah, I think, even these trees, they're really good looking, but I think they have, and I guess I have a little bit of an issue with one of the billboard materials here. And I think, even these trees, they could do better with just one less material, but they look really nice. So that's one of the reasons that I really like them. So I might just keep them for now. Marks, no problem. My pleasure. Oh yeah, definitely. And you can in the description of the video there should be a link to the Discord server. So feel free to join. There's a few other people in there that are quite active, and if you have questions, since I work, I'm not around full time, but I'm, most people will jump in and give you some thoughts. Oh yeah, I was thinking of that. Like I was noticing that, but I wasn't sure, Hisham, if if why does that happen? Like why does it increase? Yeah, Bunny, I think so too. Like um, with my vegetation, I've never noticed like um, any changes, right? I kind of knew what I was in for, and it was kind of expected, so it is what it is. All right, so I'm adding some of this stuff around here just to dress up this area around the shoreline. See, maybe we can put a few more in there. And this tool is really good for just creating these instances. Hey Imran, if you by any chance have that video, that'd be awesome to see. Oh, Bugsy. Yeah, Bunny, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, and Bunny, feel free to share that scene with on Discord if you're not already on Discord. Would love to see it. That's awesome. But and are you using Nanite for that? And boom, hey, boom, welcome, welcome. Any Scout, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so I'm just gonna paint some of this grass around here, guys, just so that you know, kind of breaking up some of the surface. And then maybe we'll also place some of the bigger boulders to complete that area. There we go, kind of like that. Hey, Any Scout, when will the game be released? I'm still quite a ways away, but what I'm hoping for and what I'm working towards is to have a quick demo this summer as to where people can play it, kind of complete a few missions in the beginning. Um, Hopefully I can get some feel for how the game performs, and if people have any issues, e.g. Um, falling to the ground somewhere and things like that. So that'd be tremendously helpful for me, for people to try that out. Hey, Scheme, um, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So upload probably. I'm not sure if I can do demo on the Epic Marketplace. I'll look into that, but definitely starting with Steam. And if possible on itch.io, I know that itch.io is a pretty good platform for indies. I'm not entirely sure how big of a of a package game they allow. Like if my game is going to be, I've done a packaging maybe a month or so ago, and it was like in the 25 to 30 gigs. And I'm not sure if itch.io would allow that kind of a scale, but so I'll have to look into that. Do you know about the shader compilation issue that Unreal Engine has? Not sure. At least I haven't encountered any issues with shader compilation. Do you have a video of that or an example, Hisham? Because I don't think I've encountered it. At least, you know, um, oh, thank you so much, Hisham. Yeah, send it on Discord, and I'll check it out later on tonight. After the stream, I gotta go for a little bit and help a friend. Uh, but um, but yeah, send it if you wouldn't mind. Send it on Discord. Appreciate it. Arena Breakout Infinite. Gonna write that down. So give that a shot. See how that is. All right, so that shoreline is starting to look a little bit better, I think. It's kind of coming together. It's always nice to have some of this stuff just breaking up like, without it and with it, just breaking up that flatness, I think. Oh, hey, Scheme. Um, who are you asking about who should get it? All right, let's paint a little bit of mulch, kind of closing the forest, get it a little bit closer to the to the edge here. So Scheme, let me know. I'm kind of how we should like make a drawing, I guess, right? For who gets that. I'm not entirely sure if um yeah, or if Hisham got it, then great. Happy for you, Hisham. Any scout, do you get like burnout or get bored from game dev? Absolutely not. Actually, that's kind of interesting. I um I haven't. I I kind of like I said, this is this is really a big um really like an enjoyable thing for me to do. So yeah, I've never felt boredom or anything like that from this. There's definitely times, when I take breaks, not so much because of burnout, but more for like uh, like I want to get some some breaks, because I do get tired. So yeah, I do like to take breaks, and at that point, like I would pick up a video game, and by breaks I mean like I wouldn't work on the game for maybe a day or two. That's what I call a break, not like um, you know, not work on it for like, weeks at a time. There was a setting in here that would only populate it on the terrain, if I recall correctly. Can't recall what that was, so that it wouldn't like place it on top of stuff like this. Um, yeah, so when everybody needs a break, and definitely, but I never felt any scout. I never felt bored or burned out. A lot of it is also taking a break, and I come back with like some new ideas. So that's totally a thing, for me at least. So AnyScout, this is actually the iScatter tool. So I use it for like various purposes, actually a lot of purposes. So one of them, mostly what I use it for is like placing instances of assets, like in this case, this granite, like this rock granite surface. But I also use it for like the electrical poles, because you can place blueprints, so these poles are placed on the spline and they link between each other um, automatically. So let's see. Maybe another one would be to place like decals, like in this case, like these decals here, right? Um, so I use it for that as well. And, placing stuff like this, like on a surface where you can't really paint it with the paint tool. And, or for example, if we were talking about decals, another use would be for, let me see, where would that be? Like now these decals are, I need to fix them, but like placing these decals that are like cracks on the ground, along the roads. So that's another use. Oh yeah, so I was answering the question and I forgot. Thank you, everybody. Everybody new, like Keith Breeze. Welcome, welcome. Um, Glad to have you. Glad to have you. And thank you so much, Keith Breeze. Thank you. Unreal Engine 5 does not cost anything. It's free, and I believe you only have to pay them 5% after you make your first $1 million, which we can only hope. But there's been a lot of indie games that have gotten there, and yeah, at least that's what I've been reading as of the latest thing that they posted is for their license agreement. You have to pass $1 million in revenue, and then you pay 5%. No, no, no. So you don't have to pay for like I'm not paying anything right now. Well, even Call of Duty, unless they get some kind of like special treatment, like they have like a like a um like a support plan with Epic, they probably pay them like a monthly fee for support, but they probably wouldn't pay them for using Unreal. So, hey, there you go. Well, hopefully somebody got, and Hisham, hopefully that code got you the IA scatter tool. So that's awesome to use it. So kind of getting back to this where I was using it. Yeah, so it's perfect for, scattering things like this. That's why it's called scatter. Let's see what else. Indy is the final boss. Yeah. Well, so for movie production, that part I don't know, unless it's like a different. Oh yeah, you're right, Bunny. I know I did notice something about somebody posted about it that if you do use it for movies, there's like something gotta pay, I think. But I couldn't tell you what that is. Yeah, I mean, definitely, Unreal is a great engine. I think at the end of the day is what you want to make, and it's there's uh, all that it is. It's a tool. Like if you feel more comfortable with Unity or with Godot or with Unreal, that's totally up to you. Like me coming from CryEngine, Unreal was very easy to get into, like easier than Unity. And Unity was pretty simple with the C sharp, coming from C++ in CryEngine. But the blueprints in Unreal were very easy for me. I felt very easy. So Keithu, this is the IA scatter tool. This tool here, where you can like, specify, this particular mesh, you can specify a blueprint, and there's like a bunch of settings here that you can like uh, set it up, like how many instances you want to have, how you want to scan it when they get placed, and like if you want to place them on a spline, like on a line, in an area, there's so many settings for this. So it's a totally cool tool. Let's see. Lethal Company. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not familiar with that game, but think so. Seven Giants, is $1 million a lot in the US? It is a lot. Yeah, it totally is. Is Unity better for less complex games? I couldn't tell you because I haven't. I've seen some really cool projects done in Unity. I mean, I know that their market is mobile games, but I don't see. I mean, um, I think just any games could be done. So I'm not familiar with Unity that much. Um, yeah, that's true. Exactly, Breeze. Like Imran was saying, you need to learn C sharp. I'm not familiar with the Playmaker plugin. With Unreal, you have Blueprints, which is like visual scripting, which is really nice and really, really quick. Or you can do C++ if you're like a C++ person. Yeah. All right. So the edge of the river is starting to come together. This is good. We've made some progress on this end. Let's simulate some trees and paint a little bit more of that around here to get some more trees spawned. I need to figure out why um, they also spawn on that river mesh. Um, oh, thank you so much, Bunny, for that comment. Isn't it hard creating realistic textures though? Well, so there is Megascans, and I use quite a bit of them, and they're free. So, if you use Unreal, like this thing here with the Quixel bridge, and you get like a ton of stuff in here, from like plans, 3D assets, most of them are just scans. So this is free to use with Unreal, which is pretty cool. Would you recommend using C++ for Unreal Engine games? I'm guessing it depends on your comfort level with C++, and I would say I think it's best to have a combination of things. From what I'm told from some friends of mine that work in the game development industry, it's good to have like a combination of C++ and blueprints. Like blueprints, they facilitate like world building, like this one here. This is a perfect example. This is a blueprint that, I can place things like this, and like have them update in here. So I think this is why it's a good, using them as a combo is usually really good. I use only blueprints because I'm not very good at C++, and it's a lot quicker to use blueprints when you build a game, Keithu. So yeah. Um, so Hisham, I believe there is a place where you can actually claim the code. And I saw that Scheme posted it in here. Thank you, Scheme, so much for that. But there is a thing in the Epic Launcher where I think you can just claim code. So Key to Blueprints is so slower than C++. That I don't know. I mean, from what I'm told, again, is they're definitely not as fast, but that difference is like um, is getting smaller and smaller. So it's again, uh, it's up to uh, it's up to you as to whatever you want to use in the end. The one thing that I wish we'd have is as a gauge, similar game made in fully in Blueprint and fully in C++. And I don't mean like a simple game, like kind of a little bit more complex, also I'm not thinking like a Far Cry type of level, but and to see like the differences. I would like to see that. Where's the gizmo for this guy here? Um, So Breeze, it is if you just Google for if you go to Epic Games and you get your Epic Launcher, which looks like this, you need to install this, and then under Library you can just add a new version, like I have here, and and then you can just go to the marketplace, get a bunch of like the free stuff they have, and then play around with them, and yeah, see how that feels. All right, there we go. We got some trees spawned. That's awesome. Let's see what else. Hey, thank you, Scheme. Thank you, Hisham. I'm glad you got him in there, Scheme. Appreciate that code. And Breeze, so this is a single player. I was gonna say it's a single player multiplayer game. No, it's a single player. It's a first person action adventure video game. A single player, storyline, story driven, and yeah, usually during the weekends I stream. Part of it is to talk to you guys. Part of it is also to get some inspiration from you guys because, already have like 3 or 4 things jotted down just from chatting with people on the stream. So that's awesome. And another part of it is just promoting this project. It's again, the name of it is in the name of the stream. On your own, because I am on my own, and it is kind of that's how I'm like, okay, how am I gonna name this? And it's a single player game, so it's kind of you're on your own in that. So, and that's kind of a really short outline. The game starts with a plane crash sequence where kind of the plane malfunctions and you can jump out of the airplane in 3 different locations, and depending on where you jump, you're gonna start off a little bit different. And then after the beginning missions, they're all going to join into one thread. So, and then you're going to find out what has happened in this world. Oh yeah, Unreal Sensei is a really good one. Ryan Laley is another good one. Matt Asplant is another really good channel on YouTube for tutorials and like tutorial series. That's what I usually like to recommend. Like find a playlist of how to make a basic shooter, and how to do like interactions, basic inventory, stuff like that, to get a feel for how things are done. Should I try learning the blueprints or should I learn the programming language? Um, that's a that's a really good choice. It depends on how much time you got, right? Like I don't have a lot of time, with my day job and everything else, like uh, you know, the house and the kind of the adult responsibilities that I have. But it's so that's why I went with the blueprints because they're a lot quicker and a lot easier to work with. They perform basically everything that C++ does. There are definitely some things that you would need C++ for, but those are like on a very advanced level type of stuff that only C++ can do. Yeah. Can I try and make infinite hallways, etc. with Blueprint? Yeah, you can totally do that. I think there's actually something on the marketplace, like Infinite Rooms, I think it's called, or something like that. That you literally that's what it is. It's just a thing that automatically generates rooms for you as you move along, kind of like a dungeon generator, so to speak. So yeah, guys, I mean, I think it turned out decent. I'm quite happy with the result. We'll kind of put a little bit of grass in between some of these rocks around this ridge. And I think what we'll end in this corner is going to be like a little bit of a bigger kind of stone feature type of thing. Let's see what we can make. See what we can make over here. Yeah, Imran, that's exactly one of the things that I wanted to, and thank you so much for mentioning about that garbage collection, because um, you know, it's important, right? So thank you. All right, so let's get create some of this stuff here. We'll see how this is gonna look. Nope, I did not want it from there. I want it from here to here, hopefully. Should I use the newest version of Unreal? Yes, you definitely should. I mean, eh, it's just moving forward and forward. I haven't used 5.4 yet. I'm on 5.3, so I usually just recommend the latest version because it's, kind of the latest. So, probably there's like bugs and all that that have been fixed, as we can hope. But yeah, somewhere on the ridge with some Easter egg. Well, Imran, how did you read my thoughts? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have some of those, and kind of some of these fishing isolated cabins that are gonna kind of be placed around. This is definitely like a location over here. You saw one in that campgrounds over there, so there's gonna be a little bit of those. Um, Hey, Manga. Hey, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. Haven't seen you here in a while. Glad to have you. Breeze, are there any plugins I need? So, actually, I can share some of the ones depending on what you want to do. Some of the ones that I currently use are as follows. So, I use this image resize plugin that you can actually scale the size of things. And I use this project cleaner to remove things that you don't really use. Let's see, and I'm also looking at the ones that are free now, right? There's the Quixel Bridge, to bring in stuff from Bridge. Um, this is also a good one to optimize the NPCs, depending on whether you're like line of sight, how far away from them you are. I would recommend some of these just for like, you know, managing your project, your size as well. Hey, Supun. Yeah, see you tomorrow as well. Thank you so much for stopping by, all right? Um, oh yeah, so manga, things are going pretty well. I think, as far as the gameplay side, I got everything that I need. At this point, is just kind of finishing off some of the world around the drop location that is going to be in the demo, and that's what I've been focusing on in some of the latest streams. Yeah. Uh, yeah, thank you so much for the question. Let's see. Seven Giants. I wrote vegetation shader in Unity and CryEngine. Oh, that's nice. That is big stuff right there. Like, cause I could not write shaders. Like that stuff is just is beyond my understanding when I look at that. That HLSL, or I think that's what the language is. Yeah, that's some stuff right there. Imran, we got some interactables which can connect to lore. Yeah, so most of those to lore are gonna be just like paper notes and stuff like that, like newspaper clippings. That's those are gonna be it. I do like the tape recorder stuff, so I'll see how hard that would be to put in play, because it could remove a little bit of the you know and then again, that's just for the lore. I wouldn't have to like generate facial animations. It's and it, that I would save some time on that end as well. Let's see, Breeze isn't like NPC optimizer for Lethal Company. So yeah, like I said, I don't know what Lethal Company is, but if there's a lot of monsters, then they probably use that or something similar to it, you know. The thing I do is whenever I do well, for example, my channel 1 month it blew up. Oh yeah, yeah, that's totally it. And Imran, that's exactly what I was thinking. If it's just audio, it would uh, that's I already have like a way to generate audio, but it's it's kind of putting those together. That's sometimes that's a little bit difficult. Yeah, so if it's made in Unity, they probably have something similar to what that NPC optimizer does, because what that does is it reduces like the NPC like quality as you're far away from it. Also reduces it kind of like it's kind of like an LOD system, right? Where if you're at a distance, the NPC is not going to tick bones, it's just going to move, um, and like the actor itself is going to be moved across the map, but you won't see like their hands moving or their like limbs moving, and so that's one optimization. But and I think it also optimizes the behavior tree as well, which is nice. So I'm assuming that's the same thing that's done in Lethal Company. I didn't do a lot. Just trying to get some hopefully some trees spawn on this ridge here if possible. We'll see. Come on, let's get this ramp in here. There we go, that's better. Okay, that can work. Smoothing it out a little bit. Let's paint some of this mulch. And let's resimulate a little bit of this. Let's see, Ron. There's a complete video, 2 hours long. Oh, wow, that's nice. They remade it already. And there we go. That's a nice little end of because the main thing is, kind of where this river ends and kind of where the lake is. I'm trying to make the transition between like the moving surface and like the not moving surface. So that's a little bit going to be a little bit of I'll probably do some trial and error this evening and show the result to you guys tomorrow. I'll see what might work best here, maybe um, have this elevated a little bit. I'll see what works best. But the river edge is starting to look pretty good. I'm quite happy with how that's turning out. Yeah, let's finish it off a little bit here as well. And if I missed any questions from you guys that you might have asked me earlier, please ask them again. It's um, I promise you, I don't think I'm like scatterbrained, but sometimes, I might miss some of them. So um, feel free to post it again. All right, there we go. We got a little bit of variety in there as far as, kind of the edge along here. Yeah, sounds good, Breeze. We'll be here. I'll be here for another 20 minutes or so. I usually try to keep these at about a couple of hours length. All right, there we go. That looks good on that side. Yeah, like I said, I'm not entirely sure why it's like um, this surface, like this eye scatter tool is not is placing it on top of that surface that doesn't have collisions. I'm just gonna try and just move it out of the way for a little bit here. All right, that's starting to look decent. See if I can add a little bit of because between all these like three rocks that I use, maybe I can add a little bit more of a like a kind of this flatter one. Just mostly trying to break that edge is what I'm trying to do here. So like I don't want to have like just this, a lot of it. So it looks like this particular one seems to work out decently. All right, that's starting to turn into something. And maybe also on this side, we won't do it as big, but kind of similar. Just to try and get that corner in like there. There we go. Uh, Hisham, how much are you planning to sell the game at? That's a great question. Like uh, since I was uh, since I planned this to be in like two episodes, like with not a lot of connectivity, like you can play episode two without really playing episode one, but um, so basically, kind of once you figure out what's going on in this area here, there's going to be like a second area where you're going to be confronted with more things. But I was, initially I was thinking of, something like $10. I really couldn't, um, you know, didn't really think of how much it'd be worth. I think to me at least, it's tough to like value like put a price on your work. I I also wanted it to be affordable. Like I kind of understand why some games nowadays are like $70. Um I also I also don't understand how some other games are like $30. Like I've seen some games that are $30 that I'm like, this is not worth $30. This is worth like a tops like, you know, 10, 15. So yeah, that's I would hate to ask for too much when it's not worth that kind of money. Um, so yeah, it's definitely a tough question to ask. I'll have to be honest. And so yeah, manga. That's how I feel. Like um, and that's why it's tough to like price things, especially when it's like something like this. Like when it's like just like a passion project, and you want as many people to play it as possible. Um, yeah, but I think it's also going to be based on how the demo does. Like if people like the demo and they feel like, oh, you know what, this is worth it. Um, I'll probably adjust adapt time. You know, Aren't the LODs changing too quickly for the trees? Um, I think they're fine. I couldn't really tell, especially like in game mode. It's hard to tell how they if they that they change too quickly. I also move like really quick, so that might that might feel worse for people watching it. So Keith, yeah, I'm planning on Steam and the Epic and the Epic Marketplace. Hopefully, I can qualify for that. I'm not entirely sure what the process is, so I need to look into it a little bit more to see how easy it is to get onto that. Oh, thank you, Manga. Well, like I said, they're assets from the marketplace, so I try to pick the ones that fit with what I see for quality, because the marketplace is also like a very mixed bag of things, and um, I try to find stuff that look decent enough. I think trees sway too fast. Uh, Actually, yeah, you're right, Imran. Now that I look at it a little closer, they kind of like wiggle back and forth a little too much. So appreciate that, Imran. And like I said, this is the reason why I stream as well. It's like I get feedback from you guys in real time. Keith, yeah, it would be pretty complicated. Because I mean, I get co-op, but none of the games that I've played that have co-op, I've actually used co-op because I kind of like just going through the game by myself. So I think that's one of the main reasons that I've um, not just played it. Yeah, I think so it's not I don't think it's how much they move. I think they move at a regular distance, but I think they kind of like move a little too quickly. Like this little jerk back and forth, I think it's a little um too much. And I'm gonna need to fix this little, I'm not sure what that is. I think it's like the billboard for one of these. Oh, there's like the mushrooms are also busted, so I need to fix that as well. Yeah, Imran, that's definitely not natural. Like this little looks like it's having a seizure or something. So yeah, I'll definitely I definitely wrote that down as to do. Yeah, that's totally true. It is. It is. All right. Well, I think that's looking pretty good. Let me add one more thing since we're here. Just a little some of these cattails, just to add them alongside the edge here and there. I think it's gonna help even more with kind of breaking up the edge there. Let's see how that would look. And also remove a little bit of the flatness, so something like that. Place it in a couple of spots. Oh, come on. Uh, oh, Keith, that is awesome to hear. That is awesome to hear. If even just, uh, motivational, and I'm happy with what I've done. Actually, I'm gonna decrease the number. There's like a little bit too many in these. I don't think I need that many. Oh, that's awesome, Imran. Thank you so much for the kind words. All right, so that helps a little bit there. Let me see. Maybe I'll use it. Oops, I didn't want to go that way. Like on that corner. There we go. That's kind of filling up some of these areas a little bit better. Yeah, I think I think it definitely ended up at a as a pretty productive stream today. So yeah, Sham, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I've seen some of the stuff that you're thinking of doing, and I have to say I'm pretty excited about that. I'm definitely a fan of what you're planning. All right, so guys, I think that's gonna be it for today. Like I said, I try to keep it right around 2 hour-ish. Ashley, thank you so much for stopping by. Keith, the same. Thanks to YouTube algorithm. Well, there you go. YouTube can do some good things at times. Um, and yeah, Scheme 5080. That's something else. I mean, uh, my 1070 again is doing okay. Pulling its weight. Yeah, it's getting a little old. So. I'll keep it around just because I want to use it as a base for my plan for what I'm planning to do this, and kind of performance wise. But yeah, again, everybody, thank you so much for stopping by. And Ashley, thank you so much. I'm glad you came across the stream. And I'll be streaming tomorrow as well, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm glad this seems to work for at least, between 15 to 20 people today. That's awesome. And I'll see you tomorrow. So have a great rest of your evening, morning, night. And thank you again for stopping by. Goodbye, everybody. Take care.